I served 20 years in prison, over 2 periods of incarceration. You see, what I want you to understand is while you're sitting here, you're being educated. Whether you recognize it or not, what you're talking about every day, what you're reading every day, what you're thinking about every day, it is educating you. It is preparing you for something. And if you are not intentional about what it is you're being prepared for, what I'm going to tell you is, the likelihood is you're going to return to prison. Because you're not intentional about your freedom. And what I'm telling you is, until you get to the place where your awareness of how you got here, why you're here, and what you need to do while you're here, until that's activated, you are on a crash course to return to a life that will continue to be criminal even if it's not in prison. And you know within yourself you're better than that you had other options. And I don't want to hear all that stuff about, oh, we had no role models and all that. Guess what? You got to be your own role model sometimes. You got to be the one that says no. That's the conversation I'm having with you today. About your power to make your life what you want it to become. You see, for me, prison, what I recognized when I got there at the bottom of life this time around, the second time at 25, facing the rest of my life, what I realized was I was in prison before I was arrested. Why should somebody have to beg you to go to school in prison when education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world? You know who said that, don't you? Yes. When I was in prison the second time, I decided to do what I'm telling you to do now. Turn the cell into a classroom and the prison into a university. And I went on to earn my bachelor's and master's degree in prison. In other words, I continued to educate myself in a way that I knew that would not only free me when I was out, help me stay out, but while I was in prison, I needed to be free. The illiterate of the 21st century are not those who cannot read and write. It's those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. If you intend to get out and stay out, there's a whole lot of stuff you're going to have to unlearn about yourself. You know that, don't you? What I'm saying to you, when you leave here, don't go out of here begging, cap in hand, scratching and bowing. Leave here manned up. Get on your game now. Understand what you need to do now for you. Prepare your mind for the battle that's ahead. Don't ask whether or not I'm going to make a mistake. You will do what you think. Understand me. If you leave out of here and return to crime, it's because you're thinking like a criminal. The only way you'll not do it is if you think bigger than being a criminal. But the commitment stands starting with this. Can you stand up if you're serious about getting out and staying out? Stand up if you're serious. There's 3 things we're going to pledge. Very simple. In this pledge, it's very simple. I want you to think about it as we're saying it. I want you to repeat after me. I take responsibility for my choices and being in prison. I am accountable to educate myself, to get out and stay out. I pledge in the name of Nelson Mandela to break the cycle of crime in my family, community, and country.